Greetings, children of the screen. Your friendly neighborhood nerd scum here once again. And today, I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about something kind of interesting. So, here recently, DC has been putting out a lot of articles and talking a lot about all the things they're going to be changing up in their DC lineup, starting with kind of new books, starting with like all the Justice League stuff, as well as like their Black Label and their Young Readers label. And in the midst of all this conversation, a rumor has emerged that's kind of interesting, although it has not been substantiated. And that's that here soon we might be seeing the Green Lantern title being taken over by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. And that's kind of cool. I don't know what they're going to be doing with Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns and just Green Lanterns, which are two books that I have been greatly enjoying. Although I admit that Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns, more than anything else, has been for Ethan Van Sciver's art. Whereas I found with the regular Green Lanterns book that, like, while it's not perfect for everybody, I feel that the characters are handled very well, and it's a very good introduction to the Green Lantern mythos as it currently stands for people who are unfamiliar with it. But having said that, those two books have been going on for over a year now, and while I'm still enjoying them, they definitely don't have the same kick or bite that they once had whenever the books were first starting with DC Rebirth. And to be honest, with what DC Rebirth and now just DC has done, where they've kind of been like, hey, everything happened. All the continuity, like Infinite Crisis, the way that you remember it happening, or the way that history remembers the stories unfolding, all of that has happened, and we can play with all of it now. When you take into consideration that element that has been reintroduced, it kind of makes perfect sense for Grant Morrison to come back and take over one of the, like, more cosmic level books, where he can kind of play in the larger sandbox, as it were. Kind of like we saw him doing with Multiversity, which is just a mind... it's a mind fuck, guys. Multiversity is a mind fuck that's full of, like, great and weird and crazy stuff, like most of the great Grant Morrison books, and it really works because of the way that it's able to play with continuity and with the universes. And I think that, like, on a much, not a smaller level, actually, in some ways on a grander level, just more centralized to one universe, as it were, I think that he could do a lot of cool stuff, especially also when you consider that we recently had the destruction of the Source Wall in Dark Knight's Metal. Yeah, like, that basically opens up a whole new playing field for him. He can kind of take that, and because the Green Lanterns are characters who are equipped to go out further into the reaches of space, he could do all kinds of things. He could theoretically do anything, which is kind of cool, because I really enjoy some of Grant Morrison's stuff. He's written some amazing stories. There's no arguing that. Like, he is one of the most well-known, or one of the most influential comic book writers of at least the last 10 to 20 years, you know what I mean? Like, if I were to go through it, like, you know, All-Star Superman, one of my top 5 Superman stories, Batman, A Serious House on or Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth, one of my top 10 Batman books, like, his independent book, 18 Days, I freaking love it. He's done, his run on JLA is just amazing. If you haven't checked that out, definitely go find that. But at the same time, there's some other things he's done that I'm not as crazy about. A lot of people really love his run on Batman, and I like a good part of it. But man, I hate Batman Incorporated. I really dislike it. And his whole, like, you know, well, Batman's a myth. You know, he's everything to everyone and all this kind of stuff. And, like, I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't work for me. I also was not a big fan of Batman R.I.P. and the whole, like, idea of Batman building up a backup psychology, or a backup consciousness, or like personality in his head in case Bruce Wayne ever got deleted or some crap like that. I wasn't into that. And I really enjoy Final Crisis in terms of the story that it is, but it still has a lot of problems, and at the end of the day, like, it's a book where he literally took the editors of DC Comics at that time and then represented them as a giant psychic vampire that then all the heroes of the DC universe had to, like, come together to defeat and kill. Like, it was a whole metaphor for storytelling, and, like, editors were the bad guys in it. And it was, like, the people he worked with at the time, and, like, yeah. And also he's got, like, a no-edit clause in his contract. Like, it's insanity, okay? Not to mention, like, half the time he's writing the books, like, tripping balls on mushrooms and crazy crap like that. So again, like, that creates some really interesting work, but at the same time, it is a double-edged sword. So I'm not really sure what to think. Like I said, I love some of Grant Morrison's stuff. I love how trippy and weird it is. I love his run on Doom Patrol. He's done some really freaking great things. Liam Sharp's artwork is fantastic. He's recently been doing the whole Brave and the Bold thing, and he'd also done a few fill-ins on Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps not here long ago. So yeah, his stuff is really solid, and the pairing of them two together seems like it could be something really interesting and really special. But at the same time, it's Grant Morrison. He's unpredictable. That's why he's great and why he sucks. And again, like, I really like some of Grant Morrison's work, but I don't think I'm really that fond of him in general. But he's a brilliant writer, and I'm interested to see what he's going to do. But anyway, guys, those are just my thoughts. What do you think about this? Are you interested to see what Grant Morrison would do teaming up with Liam Sharp to kind of explore the new Green Lantern mythos that they could build with all this new potential and, like, the state of DC Comics as it currently stands? Have you been really, really into the 2 Green Lantern books that have been going on? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave a like and share it with some friends. That's more important now than ever with everything YouTube is changing up on us small YouTubers. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit that little bell so you can get updates on all the dope content I'll have coming out in the future. Also, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I will have the links for that in the description below. Thank you very much, guys, and I hope you all have a good one. Nerd Scum, out.